So, he's just trying to make things less worse, Tony is, and, Cap says no, and, to sign the Sokovia Accords, so, Captain America makes things worse, and, the psychiatrist who's talking to Bucky is not really a psychiatrist, but Baron Zemo from the comics, who usually is jacked and wearing purple tights and purple tights, and use it where he has a sword. Usually carries a sword and with a purple mask, similar to a ski mask material. The material is made out of, and luckily he doesn't look anything like that was cool and awesome that I mentioned about Baron Zemo from the comics. Yes, he doesn't wear his purple mask. So yeah. So, and he doesn't have Baron Zemo's backstory. He has completely unrelated backstory. So basically, he's a less faithful adaptation of Keanu Reeves' Constantine from the movie Constantine. Maybe just as faithful, but also somehow less faithful from the source material. So it really shows you how much they respected the source material in Baron Zemo as a character. But hey, he still has his accent. He still has like he still has like this like accent that you're used to hearing in the cartoons and the comics that you expect Baron Zemo to sound like, and so yeah, and in the comics he's an old rivalry of Captain America and is obsessed with killing him because he sees him as the ultimate opponent to fight and also to kill, to fight to the death in the comics and also in every other, like any kind of show outside of the MCU's interpretation. So yeah, this basically is not a really good portrayal of Baron Zemo at all. At all. Writing-wise or design-wise, because this looks like a regular guy. A civilian, because he is. Now, in this representation of Baron Zemo, his family died in Sokovia because they were living there, and it took him 2 days to find their bodies. And they were already dead when he found them. And therefore he wants the Avengers to kill each other. And divided. And fall, basically. That's why he's, uses the, words to brainwash Bucky and asks about where he was created to Bucky while disguising as a psychiatrist. As a shrink. In room with the same room with Bucky, he takes control Bucky and uses the magic words to turn back and reverse the whole process being the Winter Soldier again. Basically, the brainwash washes Bucky, so those words magic words brainwash Bucky to being Winter Soldier again. So yeah, so things go south really quickly. The Avengers fight Bucky, and which leads to the Avengers fighting each other after they find out that Bucky's not the only Winter Soldier. They're more like him, actually worse. They're more, in all the cases, worse, as in more dangerous than him, committing more kills before they got brainwashed into like the Winter Soldier. With the Winter Soldier project and stuff. and went for a bunch. The kid committed more kills than he ever had, and that was before they got upgrade superpowers from with the Soldier Park. You know, that's what Bucky says after Bucky regains consciousness. He's remembers Steve and Wilson, and explains why this is based off a hunch of why the fake shrink was posing as a shrink, and he doesn't know anything. He thinks he knows why he's going. Why he wanted to know about where he was kept during his Winter Soldier days. Though can't actually ask for Tony's help because he don't believe that he would help. Even if he did believe, they think he would listen to Sokovia, of course, when it came over doing the right thing, because they don't think Sokovia, of course, would let him because he signed it. So they think he either won't believe it or won't break the rules. I mean, this is Tony Stark. Have you known the guy? He's known for a rule breaker in any temperature change and not really following the rules, except his own rules when it comes to doing the right thing, And so it's kind of odd that Captain America thinks like that, like Sam Wilson does. I guess it might make sense for Sam Wilson's kind of thing, because he doesn't know him as well as Cap does, but it's still a little confusing when you think about it in hindsight. It is. So, yeah. Oh, and also, like, 21 cited Cody Cross is because he blames himself for the Avengers dropping a building on this kid, on this kid. That's, the mother blames her for, blames the Avengers for. And the Avengers, okay. And one of the things that's a little confusing, how they're showing all this footage of what the Avengers did. And the only thing the Avengers did was two things, was the New York event and also what happened that day was the explosion. Because, yeah, but the rest, it's not really the Avengers, the rest of the events. Because, I'm sorry, but the Winter Soldier events that happened there, happened because of S.H.I.E.L.D., which happened because of Hydra, because Hydra was taken over by S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's really Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s fault. So, and the other events, like Age of Ultron, that was Ultron, he totally dropped the building on the kid, and it was on a bunch of people, and so really Ultron was the reason why people hate the Avengers for that event. Majority of these events, except for two, out of multiple events, are not on the Avengers, except for two, because you can see, clearly see like New York events was on the Avengers. It was Hulk jumping from building to building, some rubble collapsed on some person when he was jumping from building to building. So that was definitely kind of on the Avengers, but mostly because Hulk was just being clumsy and reckless, And the other thing was involved what happened in the opening scene of this movie when the Avengers during the heist. I mean, it was a heist. Come on, things happen during heists. It's a heist, for fuck's sakes. And I was where the Avengers are completely buying into this guilt tripping. Like, no, this is stupid. Not all this is their fault. But two of them, but 2 out of 5 events that chaos events, 2 out of 5 isn't. You're not making they're convincing us the Avengers are as dangerous as you think that they are, Ross. You are feeling it somehow. The Avengers are completely buying into them. Buying into this whole being persuasive nonsense, this guilt tripping stuff. So yeah, it's stupid. I don't get on either of this pothole. This means pothole. So yeah, so yeah, so try to figure where I was in the story. Yeah, Avengers fight each other after Romanoff recruits Black Panther and Tony recruits Spider-Man for the ambush for Captain America's team at the airport when they also steal a Quinjet. The airport closes because of Tony's team, and Cap tries reasoning with Tony and talking some sense into, but he's not listening. So Cap basically is like, you know, goes to Plan B and fights them with his team, and they both kind of lose because everyone except for Captain and Bucky gets taken custody, and everyone else gets their ass handed by Captain America, and also each get their own ass. They each wipe the floor with themselves, and honestly, I'm not sure anyone won, to be honest with you, in that fight, in the airport fight. So yeah. And that was a fight that was shot in full screen. The only scene, the only setting of this movie that was shot in full screen. So yeah, that was that setting. And now that happens after Hawkeye busts Scarlet Witch, who is Wanda, out of House of Rocks, basically, with originally came out cozy, and also them falling in love, basically. And so yeah, now T'Challa told what Black Widow did, that she helped and betrayed her own team, as in helped Cap and get away, and Bucky. So she's now a fugitive now and goes on the run. And after telling Tony to go fuck himself, basically, and Tony finds out that Captain America of what he's saying at the airport was actual concrete fact, and should have listened to him before escalate the situation, you know, at the airport. So he goes to this prison this prison to talk to Ross, ask for his help to look for this Baron Zemo guy. He seems to be dangerous, and Ross doesn't want to listen to it because the whole incident with the airport thing and the cloud damage he caused. Even though it was just stuff, and also nobody was at the airport, so he said that's more than good reasons not to listen to Tony anymore. So Tony basically goes rogue and helps Captain America out and Bucky out anyway with the whole Baron Zemo thing. Because he gets help because he knows where they're going, because he actually asked Sam where the location is, and he actually admitted that he fucked up and it was completely wrong, even though Kevin is off the Sokovia registration, he's going to need all the help he can get. So, like, Sam will tell him, but only if he comes as a friend, and also, Tony just says easy, so he, doesn't tell Ross shit after scrambling their, speakers and cameras on all their surveillance systems, you know? So, Ross and the team didn't pick up all what he said to Wilson. So, Tony tells that Wilson told him to go to hell, and also, also says that, if you need his help for anything, call me, and I'll put you on hold because I like to see the light blink. He said to Ross. So basically, he suits up and goes to Captain America and Bucky, and meets them where Bucky was kept as prisoner of war and brainwashed for the Winter Soldier program. And T'Challa is suited up in his Black Panther suit and falls Iron Man and right behind him from a distance. So Captain America and Bucky and also Iron Man meet up with each other, and T'Challa meets up with them, but they don't meet up with T'Challa because T'Challa's keeping his distance and more in the shadows. But he's still trying to kill Bucky, so wants to keep him off guard. And his agenda changes once he finds out that Baron Zemo's behind everything. So he realizes he almost killed the wrong man. So and turns out he didn't want more Winter Soldiers, but he just wanted to see the Avengers fall and be split up and kill each other, basically. In other words, so I guess the Winter Soldier scene was more of a distraction, I guess, with Game Army. That was more of a distraction, nearly a distraction for the Avengers to let them off guard. Because he killed the other Winter Soldiers point blank in the head, all of them, that were on ice. So, yeah, so then he plays this old footage from this, surveillance, this old footage from the surveillance camera from way back in the days. It's the same, road in the same car that Bucky, totaled. And also sell this experimental drug for his mission in the opening scene of this movie, during the story. And turns out that car belonged to Tony's mom and dad, and they were in that car. So the car that he took down and destroyed, and he also killed. He's the reason that Tony's parents are 6 feet under. So Tony's rightfully pissed off, and Cap tries to get Tony to calm down, and he asked if Captain asked if he knew, he didn't know, but he didn't know that was. He knew it was a Winter Soldier, but he didn't know it was, Bucky, the Winter Soldier. He explains, and so he punches Cap right in the face, and he goes knocking down, and he is pissed and tries killing Bucky, and Cap's trying to stop him from killing Bucky. And once I think that the best scene this film is I really like this this fight scene is. I'm sorry, my throat's a little dry. I really like this climax. It's just so, because it's just like such a depressing scene that it's like kind of, you just feel bad. You know how like those who don't know, this is based on a comic called Civil War, and a big thing what made that comic special is that we have the heroes fight each other, and you just feel bad while they're fighting each other, and not holding their punches all, and basically killing each other. So now a lot of people didn't like. Now a lot of people complain about the movie as like the airport fight scene because no one dies, and then no one. It's not really sad. It's just fun, and I can understand it. It's not really depressing like it should be, but I don't think that's the main fight that was meant for this movie. I think the main fight is actually the climax, because you just feel terrible that what's going on with them, or what's going on in the movie, because you feel like the relationship is basically completely decaying between Tony and also Cap. So yeah, and I think that's why I think this is more similar to the comics than I think most people give it credit for, because of this final climax. Because if it just feels like truly a epic tragedy, like the Civil War big fight in the Civil War comic event. So yeah, they're kicking each other's ass, and Charlotte confronts the real killer of if this is what he wanted, just have them fight each other and kill each other and see them rip each other apart. And he said, yeah, that was my plan. And because I want revenge for my family. After 2 days after finding that body, he planned his revenge for this movie. So, yeah, T'Challa forgives, so, before I go any further, T'Challa does forgive, Baron Zemo for what he's done. So, at the end of the day, we really, at the end of the whole episode, you realize, you know how, the comic, if you're those who read the comic run of Civil War, you notice how a big part of that movie, comic run for Civil War versus the movie, have two different, different focuses. Like the movie is about, first about should the Avengers be on a shorter leash than what they are used to. But then it turns into something much more different from the comic run. Is that it's more about of forgiveness and also vengeance. So when you really think about it, Tony basically character represents is really his whole thing is really about vengeance and pain, and Captain America's character in this movie is about forgiveness and peace, and the opposite to Tony. And Chadwick Boseman is somewhere in between, with hunting down and then forgiving the person who committed murder to his father. Now, so basically, Chad Baldwin got the role of Spider-Man, basically, because in the comic, the concept is that one side is the one side is Captain America's side, and that's the only way Captain America can see this way, and Iron can only see this way. But there's this individual that's Spider-Man in the comic that can see both sides, and so for the movie, that gets reversed, and to Black Panther's character, they can see both sides of the problem. So, yeah, so really it's more of a much more greater adaptation of the comic of Civil War than I think most people give it credit for, is what I'm trying to say. And so yeah, the Avengers are now divided and failed, and Zemo won because he got the Avengers to basically fucking split up and cut off their friendship connections and have not in contact with the other person who's on the separate sides of the Sokovia courts. So yeah, Banner Zemo won. So basically,